I'm Harvey Geller, and I'm here with Rabbi Linda Goldberg to ask about her recent ordination after many years following a business career.
Welcome, Harvey, and thanks for bringing your friends.
Rabbi Linda, how did you become a rabbi at this stage of life, and what did you do before?
My background's in business, in technology management and management consulting at IBM, then as an independent consultant, and finally as COO and then CEO of a managed care company. But my dream has been to become a rabbi. I've wanted to do that for more than 30 years. And so, with lots of life experience, including a very long time marriage and a family, I'm privileged to be doing that now. It really pays not to give up on your dreams.
So, what kind of rabbi did you become?
I'm an independent rabbi, not associated with any of the major movements. I want to make everyone completely welcome in a Jewish environment. I don't believe Jewish practices and values should be a barrier, but rather an encouragement to living well. As an example.
Can you give me an example?
Certainly. When I was a little child in synagogue on the high holidays in New Bedford, Massachusetts, a young woman came down the aisle with her husband or fiance, obviously new to the synagogue. I would have liked to have known her story, but I don't. A pillar of the community was standing there near some empty seats, saying the Amida, which is the prayer that you're supposed to not move after you start saying it. And she politely excused herself to get to the empty seats. And he turned to her and he said in a very loud voice, "Can't you see I'm praying the Amida?" She left humiliated, and I knew then and there that what kind of Jew I did not want to be. Since then, I've learned that 36 times in the Torah it says to be kind to the stranger, and not once does it say don't move when you're saying the Amida.
Are you a rabbi at a particular synagogue?
No, I'm specifically serving individuals as opposed to a congregation. About 65% of the Jews in this area do not belong to a synagogue, and they are the people I want to help when they want a rabbi. I did my research project on them, including a survey of nearly 200 Jews who are not members of synagogues, to learn more about their needs, wants, attitudes, activities, etc., so I could serve them better.
And what did you learn about them? How do they view themselves as Jews?
Well, most chose to describe their Judaism with non traditional labels, like just Jewish or culturally Jewish, as opposed to Reform, Conservative, Orthodox, Reconstructionist. Though more than half of the younger respondents chose the traditional labels, only 22% of those born before 1946 chose them.
And how do you view yourself as a Jew in those terms?
Well, I was brought up and educated as a conservative Jew as a child, and we now belong to a great conservative synagogue. But over the years, I've studied with them all, I've enjoyed learning with them all, and I guess I'm probably an amalgam of them all now. So I guess just Jewish is what I am too, and that's the short answer.
Back to your survey, what did you learn about how they feel about synagogues?
About 40% of all respondents grew up in families that belonged to synagogues, but they never did themselves. Another 40% belonged and left, and the remaining 20% never belonged. But nearly half of all the respondents, 47%, said they might be interested in joining or rejoining a synagogue.
Did you ask anything else about attitudes?
Yes, there were several questions about attitudes, the importance of Jewish identity, connections, practices, etc. 94% of them said that being Jewish was important to them, but community was less so. Here, too, younger respondents generally showed more interest in joining anything than the older ones.
And what about activities?
Overall participation was highest for three activities: volunteering but not through a synagogue, that was around 58%. High holiday services, also 58%. But highest of all, 76%, talking with friends about Jewish related topics.
Did you ask if they ever might want to use the services of a rabbi?
I did, and a great majority of the respondents, 89%, said that they would. About three-quarters of them for a funeral, half for a wedding, third for a new baby ceremony, and another third for learning.
Any general conclusions?
Yes, I found great variety in the patterns of behavior, belief, and needs. Any one Jew's Judaism would be hard to envision without significant dialogue. So what's meaningful for one Jew is not necessarily meaningful for another. And the full realization of that is clearly important in my work. I believe that people should be able to have life cycle events that fit them. And fortunately, I'm comfortable being flexible.
That's an interesting summary of what you learned and how it matters to what you do. Is there anything else you want to share about your survey?
I would like to emphasize that it is an informal survey, not a scientific sampling. Also, many of my questions came from a survey of past and present synagogue members that was commissioned by UJA Federation in Westchester. I appreciate their permission to do that. This is my full report with lots more information, observations, conclusions relating to the broader community. It's 24 pages long, but half are data tables, and the rest is said to be very readable.
If they're interested, can viewers get a copy?
By all means, just go to my website, rabbilinda.com, to contact me and request it, and I'll be glad to send out a PDF.
Now that you're ordained as a rabbi, what can you do for people that want your help?
Well, I'm very happy to help them, including secular Jews and interfaith couples, to enhance their lives with their own unique connection to Judaism, wherever they are coming from. I do weddings.
Interfaith and same-sex couples?
With pleasure. Do bar and bat mitzvah observances, baby naming, all the happy things. I also hope to be there for people when they need assistance with a funeral or unveiling. Having been to funerals of wonderful people that were really rather matter of fact, I welcome the opportunity to celebrate their lives and comfort their mourners. And I am an experienced teacher of adults and children. I really love sharing the wisdom of our people.
And are you enjoying yourself so far?
It's wonderful. It was what I was meant to do. How lucky I am to be able to give and to grow in this way.
Thank you, Rabbi. It would seem you are filling a wide gap for non-traditional Jews.
Thank you.